Welcome to your 15-minute honey latte yoga flow. This is a smooth, energizing morning practice that's going to open up the hips, strengthen the core, and get you woken up for this morning, something we all need. So this is just like a honey latte. This is a sweet and smooth sequence that is also grounding and uplifting. Perfect way to start your day, I promise. So grab your mat, find a spot, and let's get started. So let's get into a comfortable seated position on our mat. Let's take these first few breaths of this morning to get into a relaxed state. Start to reset our system. Roll those shoulders down and back, lengthen through the spine. Breathe. Let the mind be still just for a few moments before we really start our practice. And if this is your first flow or movement of the morning, just think about how important it is to settle the body with the mind before we prepare for our day. Pretty big deal. Reach the arms up, breath comes in with you here. Exhale, left hand drops down, bend into that elbow, reach up overhead with the right fingertips. Other side, inhale, we reach, and exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Back and forth like this. Oh, really waking up those sides as you stretch. Hands come forward, just turning on a side where you can see me. Drop the head. If this feels a little bit tight for you and you want to come up on your fingertips while resting the gaze towards the mat, eyes closed, you can as well. Inhale, we rise, come back, upright position. We're going to extend this left leg, keep that right leg bent, toes pointed up to the ceiling. Inhale, reach that arm, the right arm overhead, left hand comes down to the mat. Big stretch here, feels so good. Switch sides, right hand comes down, reach up overhead. Side come down. On this next twist, plant that right hand into the mat. Lift the hips, left hand sweeps up overhead. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, release. Come into an overside stretch on the left side. Right hand comes down again, lift the hips. A variation of gate pose. Pull the hips forward. Exhale, slowly sink it down. Take your time here, it's morning. Slow and smooth. One more time. Right hand comes down. Squeeze and lift. Exhale, release, come down. And switch sides. Bend into that left leg. Right leg extends. Inhale, reach the arms up. Right hand comes down. Stretch on the left side. And really try to pull the fingertips a little bit further away when you come in here and feel a little bit comfortable exploring further. Left hand comes down, lift the hips, reach up overhead on the right. Exhale. Come right into that overhead stretch here. Toes point up. Sometimes I forget too, it's okay. Squeeze the glutes, lift. Exhale. One more time on both sides. Perfect. Come on down. Windshield wipe the legs here. Meet me for some cat-cows. And I know that we all have experience with cat-cows as we drop our belly, carve our nose up for cow, and doming the spine, tucking the chin for cat. So try to move through these in a way that feels good for your body. It might look like a regular cat-cow, or maybe you sway the hips side to side. Maybe you sink the hips down and rise past the wrist on your inhale and exhale. Just kind of find what feels good for your body as you move through these motions. So an intuitive cat-cow. Let's flow like this for a few breaths here. Really taking advantage of our time here on the mat by getting into it. Letting that warmth move throughout our body. We're just encouraging this energy to radiate from our fingertips, our head, our soles of our feet, and everywhere in between. Perfect. Come back into a tabletop back flat. We're going to lift that right knee, 90-degree angle, point it out away from the body. We're taking circles. So using your knee, acting as if it's carving out small or large circles. Kind of play and see what this hip is doing this morning. Keep those hands balanced on the left and right side for me. And switch sides. Going the opposite way with that knee. Really pick that knee up as it extends away from the body. Plant the foot. We're going to switch sides. Weight grows heavy on that right knee. Lift the left. Point it away from the body. Small circles here. Guide that breath into the belly as well. Starting to let that warmth build up. Trust in the rhythm of your body. Knows that it has your back. Just move with this breath. Opposite way. Breath in and out. And knee comes down. Let's tuck the toes, step it back, move into downward facing dog for me. 3 cleansing breaths here. Let the head hang. Let's tilt that tailbone up as if it's meeting the corner where the crease and the ceiling and the wall meet. Right where that crease is, that's where we want our hips to rise up to. Inhale, look up. Make your way into the front of the mat, forward fold, and morning plant. Inhale, halfway lift. That heart rises up, that back is flat. Forward fold. Inhale, let's take it root to rise. Slowly reach the arms overhead. The head is going to look up last. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Connect with your morning. Rub your hands, keep them warm. Take a sip of your latte. And if you haven't had a honey latte before, try it. It's so good. The honey is sweet enough on its own, so it's perfect like that. Roll the shoulders down and back. Perfect. Breathe for a few moments before we switch and start that movement. Inhale, root to rise, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Let's forward fold, hinging at the hips. Perfect. Right foot steps back, reach the arms up. We're moving into our first high crescent lunge. Coming up on the balls of those feet. Perfect. Place both hands on the elbow, frame the body, pull the elbows back. Arms reach up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, let the hands frame that left foot. And from here, we're going to take our left hand, place it next to our right, and move back and forth to a lunge. So our toes are going to turn over to the right, pointing to the side of our mat. Just bend into one knee and then the other. You use your hands to walk back and forth on the mat to help you back and forth through this position. Come over back to that left foot, frame it, point the toes to the front of the mat this time. Step that left foot back. Let's meet in plank, taking our first chaturanga. Breath comes in. Exhale, release it to the mat. Inhale, push up through the palms, lift the hips, upward facing dog. You got this. Tuck the toes, step it back. Down dog, breath comes out. Take a big of a sigh as you need to. Inhale, look up. This time we're going to step that right foot between both hands. Reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Perfect. Find that strength here, starting from the core. Let's tighten it. Reaching up through the pinkies, through the thumbs. Exhale, frame the arms. Chest comes out. Exhale, frame the foot. Perfect. From here, let's slowly move the right hand over to the left. Walk the hands to the middle of our body on the left side. Toes will follow to point to the side of the mat. Back and forth like this. This lunge on the left side and the right. Walk the hands with you. Maybe you feel a little bit more bold, a little bit more strength, and you use no hands. We're going to come back to frame that right foot. Plant the hands down, step the right foot back. Let's take our chaturanga, breath into a plank. Exhale, we release. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, use the hips, pull the body back, downward facing dog. Breath comes in, breath sighs out through the lips. Again, breath comes in through the nose. And let's move from downward facing dog back to forward fold. Drop the head, micro bend in the knees. Perfect. Root to rise. Bend in the knees, reach the arms up. Palms come together, forward fold. Take it nice and smooth here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps back, reach up, high crescent lunge. Frame the body. Hands clasped on both elbows. Pull them back a little bit if you can. Find your strength in that left foot. You got this. Exhale. Frame that left foot. Take the left hand, walk it over to the right. Toes point to the opposite side. Lunge over to the right. And over to the left. Right side. And the left. Point the toes to the front of the mat. Step it back. Let's take our chaturanga. From here, breath in, plank. Release. Inhale, lift. Nose carves up. Exhale, tuck the toes. You know this one. Downward facing dog. Take what you need here. If it's 3 big breaths. If it's dropping to the knees to meet into a tabletop, that's fine too. Look past the hands, and we're going to step that right foot back, reach the arms up. And I said right foot, I meant step that left foot back, or bend into the right knee. Frame the body. This time you clasp the opposite hands, or switch sides, so it's crossed one on top of the other. Pull up through the elbows. Exhale, frame the right foot. Right hand meets to the left side. Take your lunges. Breath out as you dip down and lunge. Breath in as you switch sides. Oh, really move into this lunge and feel that warmth flowing into your body. Really smooth, really sweet. Go ahead and frame that right foot. Point the toes forward. Perfect. Step it back. Let's meet in our chaturanga. The final pose being downward facing dog. Perfect here. Inhale, look up. Walk your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Really strong here. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Perfect. Step the right foot back, soften that knee, untuck the toes. Our hands are going to go right on top of that left knee. Really letting that warmth, that breath move throughout our body. Lift up on the toes and firmly plant them down into the mat. Find your balance here. Perfect. Go ahead, hands come down to the mat. Left foot steps back, right foot steps forward, hands on the right knee. Really try to stretch into this where the skin covers the top part of the left hip. Just try to pull that left hip away from the knee. Shoulders level. Perfect. Frame that right foot. Let's step it back. Drop the belly, carve the nose in, up. Take that breath in. Exhale. Dome the spine. Really push into the palms here, guys. Really tuck that chin and tuck the tailbone as well. Drop the belly. Cow. Back and forth like these 3 times. Oh, perfect. And tabletop. Good. Let's gather our way over to the right knee. We're going to lift this back left foot, almost as if that foot is trying to touch the back part of our head. So there's really a deep stretch in that left side of the hip and the quad. And then the left knee comes back down to the mat. Reach it up again. Left knee taps the mat. And reach, really pull that foot back a little further. Dip the head back further. One more time on this side. Left knee comes down, switch sides. Shift the weight over to the left side. Raise the right foot. Head comes back. Exhale, knee to mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, you got this. Come on. 2 more times. This time we're really going to stretch, bringing that right foot all the way back. Pull the head back, push through the palms. Exhale, tabletop. And just sway the hips. Maybe your hips come to your heels. You just shake out the wrist for a little bit. Because while that is quite the pose, it does build that warmth. You would think anything in tabletop would be a little bit easy, but anything but. We're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together, come down onto our elbows and then our back, meeting in a reclined bound angle pose. Now I'm assuming that you're home, you have a blanket or a pillow or even a bolster to put underneath your lower back. I promise you, it feels amazing. The only reason why I don't have one here is because I just washed all my blankets, so they're in the dryer. But if I had one, I promise it would be underneath my lower back here. And as always, just a modification. If this does not feel good, you can point the knees up to the ceiling and just sit with the feet on the mat, knees pointed up. We're going to be here for a minute. Relax the body. Let the head grow heavy. And on your next breath in, close the knees, extend it out into corpse pose. Take up as much space as you need to on the mat. Sigh it out, relax the body. Let you start to settle into your morning. That honey latte vibe, The honey sweet and smooth, and the latte giving you that energy that lasts. And that's what we're starting here to do with this yoga practice. We're starting here. Slowly start to wiggle the toes. Energy up through the legs, the hips, the belly and shoulders, the head. Reach the arms up overhead. Point the toes, morning stretch here. Roll over to a side that feels good. Before we return to the real world, just having that gratitude that we practice these things to strengthen our mind and our body, and how beautiful that is. Let's push back up. Coming into an easy seated position. Last pose together. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Palms come together. Bring them to heart center. Let's bow the head. Having gratitude for ourselves. Making space for our morning, not just hitting the snooze, not sleeping in, but waking up and showing ourselves that we matter. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Honey Latte Yoga Flow. A strong, nourishing, just a little perfect morning practice, just like that first sip of coffee that you have in the morning. And if you're a tea drinker, I feel you. Same feeling, that warmth, that building inside. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a flow, and drop a honey pot in the comments if this was something that you liked, a little 15-minute pick-me-up that gets you going before you start your day. I know it's helped me. All right, guys, I'll see you on the mat next week. Peace.